Hello and what is up, beautiful people? Just a quick update. I've been very busy with my life as a newly employed individual, and as um, my warm up is running throughout the entirety of this video or the introduction of this video, I'll just be giving you some of these late uploads or supposedly uploads that I am supposed to upload um, in this past few months, because this has been pre-recorded a few months back. And again, as I mentioned, I've been very busy as a newly employed employee on my respective job. uh, I'll be trying to upload and become an active uh, what you call this, a YouTuber, if you would like to refer me as that. um, and I'll be trying to edit some of these archive videos, if you like to call it as well as that, as to save up storage, and of course give you some of these contents that I have been storing and has been, and what do you call this, sadly, or I'm hoping that some of these recorded footage that I have done in this past few months won't be going to waste. And yeah, that would be the update as of this moment. And there's still a lot of ideas and some uh, contents up ahead. So don't worry, uh, because I've been planning at least uh, or I'm planning on gaining at least 100 more subscribers on my YouTube channel before the end of this year of 2024. And in this video, I'll be showing you how I do my legs or lower body at home when I don't have the time to go to a normal commercial gym. And here, as you can see, I've been doing supersets with some leg or lower body exercise, or in what I call it my split, is doing an upper and posterior split routine, in which case during my lower body phase or lower body days, I'll be targeting the majority of the posterior muscles, in which in turn would also mean I need to target some of my back muscles as well, as I've been neglecting my whole entirety of my posterior chain in this past few years. And I've been actually almost been training myself physically for at least a decade now, or so to speak, because in the next year it would be officially the uh, hallmark of a decade of me training myself physically. Um, just a quick note, and I'm just sharing that fact. And as you can see here, I'm also doing some tuck dragon flags, as I have gone heavier. My lower body as well has been packing on some serious mass, and that's the goal. Um, Gaining some mass on my lower body, was especially as a tall lifter. Well, in the standards of my country, the Philippines, being 5 foot 8 inches to 5 foot 9 inches is already tall enough, and even more so 6 feet and above. And in this case, being tall requires putting on extra mass on your real estate, which is your limbs, your arms, your legs, even most especially. You'd appear lanky, even years of training, And that for me is the main struggle as a tall lifter. Again, according to the standards of my country, I am actually very tall, being 5'8". Um, if you see me in person, I actually look tall and lanky, or excuse me, actually very lanky, because if you are a loyal subscriber from another country, for example, you're in the US or of European origin, I am actually very small in accordance to the uh, standards of height measurements, and I'll be doing some Bulgarian split squats on my second superset and supersetted with Nordic curls. And Nordic curls actually saved me from training legs entirely during the lockdown when I don't have access to a proper weight room with enough weights, enough equipment, and enough machines to pack on or even maintain some serious mass on my lower body, because I don't want to be the Johnny Bravo physique when the lockdown has come to an end. And although my legs are not that very beefy according to bodybuilding standards, that doesn't make me lose hope, and at least giving me some tree trunk legs. And as you can see here, I'm doing uh, a kind of progression on the Nordic hamstring curls, in which it will also target your calves directly. And in how I do this Nordic curls, it's kind of an isometric or static type of progression, and which I have mentioned earlier also targets my calves. And also, again, if you're stuck at home, limited equipment, and like in my case, some adjustable dumbbells with limited weights, doing single leg exercises like the Bulgarian split squats or doing lunges, and then some very hard progressions on body weight leg exercises like the Nordic hamstring curls will give you the most bang out of your buck in maintaining or even gaining some serious mass on some least targeted areas when you have access to a commercial gym with enough weights, enough machines, and enough equipment. And in some cases, it gets neglected. Like, for example, again, the calves and even the tibialis, in which I am training up to this day. I superset it with heavy compound lifts in between, and I technically label it as an active rest. So here again, I'm doing the Nordic hamstring curls on a different angle. And as you can see, the calves, most especially, are actively trying to resist gravity. And you can see my furniture actually trying to, or my calves and hamstrings are actually trying to lift our my furniture up, in which I'm also trying to avoid that. So to avoid that, I'm doing this progression, in which it's kind of technically a static hold or an isometric hold. And now I'm doing the third superset on my um, workout at home, posterior day, because I think I actually don't have the time to go to the gym, because I am still living at my parents' house. Currently, I am living in a bed space near my workplace. So when there's free time for me, so if I get to go home early, I actually have more time to go to the gym and actually prepare my meals and get some extra rest. And again, mentioning the third superset, the double rows with some shrugs. Actually, back in the lockdown, I actually used to I actually use water jugs because the adjustable dumbbells don't have enough weights. As speak of the devil, there they are. There are some water jugs that I used to uh, do some water jug shrugs. Again, as I mentioned, my adjustable dumbbells don't have enough weights to give me resistance, most especially the traps, one of the most resilient muscle groups on the human body, because in our anatomy, the traps are uh, made to be very resilient and durable in terms of lifting heavy weights, because its main purpose is to stabilize your shoulder joints, um, especially when pulling heavy weights off the floor and uh, pressing heavy weights overhead. Because as you can actually notice, or what is the right or correct word for it? When you notice Olympic weightlifters, most especially powerlifters and even strongmen, they sometimes have oversized traps. It's not just the upper traps, or most especially the upper traps, but also the mid and the low traps, because not only they pull heavy weights off of the floor uh, with speed and velocity, with high speed and velocity, but it's because uh, some of these athletes actually lift them overhead, in which that's also the main one of the main functions or main purpose of your trapezius muscles. And I think this is the last superset of my posterior day, doing dumbbell lunges with, again, my adjustable dumbbells, and then supersetted with weighted pull-ups. I actually changed the workout variation mid-set, because dumbbell walking lunges, to be specific, isn't giving me enough challenge with my current uh, dumbbells. So in which I actually did double lunges in one place instead of doing it in a walking lunge, or instead of doing it in the variation in which I am doing it as a walking lunge. I actually did it in place because, for one, I didn't have enough space for me to do this said variation, and actually doing it in place gives me more stimulus, and more tension. And here I'm doing the last exercise in my superset routine, superset split. I'm actually out of words on what to say, but I think you get the point. I Again, here, as you can see, I'm doing it in place instead of doing the walking lunge variation, and I am trying my best as much as I can to target the quadriceps instead of the hamstring, in which, if you want to target your hamstring directly with a walking or a dumbbell lunge, you just have to lean your upper body forward, and you'll definitely feel a very nasty stretch on your hamstrings and even on your lower back. Also, proceed with caution if you're going to do a dumbbell lunge targeting your hamstring, because it might cause you some nasty dumps the next day, or if you're very uh, nasty enough, it might cause you some unwanted injuries. And here you can see me flexing my not so wide demon back. Again, that's also the goal. Um, Trying to build up my yoke as much as I can because of my overdeveloped chest. It's actually making my upper torso very small, and I would like to refer it as the Crash Bandicoot physique, as or if you know the reference, Crash Bandicoot is a video game character that's uh, built with a very long upper torso and a small lower body, kind of like Johnny Bravo, but you know, at least Johnny Bravo has a huge upper torso compared to Crash Bandicoot, and I think this is the last superset, and I'm actually totally gassed out because of the lack of proper conditioning. Not only, again, if you are not actually trying to compete on stage, enhance or not, doing some bit of a cardio won't hurt your muscle gains. Actually, doing cardio actually promotes more gains because a healthy heart equals more good and healthy blood flow, in which in turn good recovery, and in which in turn you actually turn up all your or up your volume in terms of doing workouts per week, and that is it. Cardio doesn't kill gains, and that would be it for this video. Again, I would like to apologize if some of you are actually trying to wait for me to upload another content. And I promise you there are a lot of contents archived on my gallery. And that would be it. Thank you for watching and have a good day.